Hello, I'm so glad you were able to come today, and I want to welcome you to the BEECH, our Bridgestone Environmental Education Classroom and Habitat. You're going to spend part of your day in our classroom with Miss Diane, our classroom teacher, and the rest of the day you're going to be traveling with one of the Bridgestone tour guides for our hike. You're going to have a great time. And first of all, we've got to go over a couple of rules, just so everybody's on the same page, okay? We never take anything into the woods and leave it there. Whatever you take into the woods, you bring back out. And at the same time, whatever's there, the flowers, the grasses, the animals, whatever's there, we leave it there. We don't touch it because it could be someone's habitat. By the way, do you know what a habitat is? A habitat is a home. And our habitat is our house. Lately, Miss Diane's habitat has been the Bridgestone Learning Center, but all of our animals that are on our property, they have a home, which is their habitat for here, and we don't want to do anything to mess up their home or to make things hard on our animals or take any of their food away because they need it so desperately. So we're going to go on our hike, and the first thing we're going to do is start at our composting center. And our classroom teacher from Warren County School System, Miss Diane, is going to take you over to the composter and tell you all about our recycling.
Hi, I'm Miss Diane Knowles, and can anyone tell me what this is? This is our composter, and this is how we help with recycling, because nature recycles, and scavengers and decomposers break things down that die, and they turn it into a nice rich fertilizer for the soil. And here's what we get out of our composter: just a nice nutrient-filled soil after it breaks down. Does anybody know what goes in here? We can put things like grass clippings and coffee grounds, all kinds of things from your kitchen that are organic, like lettuce scraps, eggshells, fruits, and other kinds of vegetables. We don't put certain things in here. Does anybody know what that would be? We don't put dairy products or meats or greasy, oily things in here because it attracts pests and it won't break down as fast. So we keep it in this bin, but you don't have to have a bin like this. A lot of people just have a compost pile or a compost heap, and they turn it with a shovel or a pitchfork, because all living things, including decomposers, have to have air in order to live and do their job. And we just help it along by turning our machine like this. And we put things in the top of it. It's got little doors that open, so we can put things in there and make sure there's enough water, and it's got air holes. And after a few weeks, we have this compost. Okay, next we'll go see Miss Tamara Cannon, and she's going to show us some of the birdhouses.
Hi guys, my name's Tamara Cannon, and today we're going to be talking, before we go out on our hike, a little bit about some of the bluebird boxes that we have here on the property. This particular house is a chickadee house, and we have some other types that I'm going to show you in just a minute. This box is for chickadees, and one of the things I want to point out to you on it is the entrance to the bird box. It is kind of small, and does anybody know why the hole on the box would be small? Well, it's small to keep the larger birds out. That way only the chickadees and bluebirds, when we get to the other box, are able to get inside. And one of the features that this birdhouse has is this little slate piece around the hole, and that keeps some of the larger birds from pecking out that entrance so that they can get in here, because they would love to get in here and use this as a home. But that would keep our chickadees and our bluebirds from getting in. So that's the style of this one. And inside this particular box, we have, and there's a webcam inside. And hopefully this spring, when we have baby birds come in and hatch out and have a nest and then hatch out, Miss Diane will be able to kind of spy on them with her webcam, and you'll be able to see that from in the classroom. And each year we have about 150 baby birds that are fledged out. One of our environmental guys here, they go around every couple of weeks and they check the boxes for nests, and then they check for eggs. And so last year what we had was about 150 bluebirds and chickadees. And if we'll step right over here, we're going to look at a bluebird box right quick. Okay guys, now we're at one of our bluebird boxes. On the property between chickadee and Peterson bluebird boxes, we have about 66 bird boxes that are in use. And this is a Peterson bluebird box, and tree swallows and bluebirds live in these. And if you'll notice, they're a little different than the chickadee house. The shape is a little bit different. The hole is still small to keep some of the larger starlings and birds like that out. The shape is like this so that they don't have to use as much nesting material to make their nest. And so we have lots of birds coming and making habitat in these houses along the property. Lots of the birds' natural habitat is disappearing due to urbanization, their habitat being torn down and cut down, and so these boxes provide a good habitat for them, and they don't have to struggle so much with the starlings and the other birds over housing. Okay, as we get ready to head off on our hike, we just want to remind you as we head out to remember what Miss Carol said. Don't take anything, don't leave anything. And guys, if you'll be really quiet as we go, we'll see a lot more animals. They can hear better than us and they can see better than us. And if we make lots of racket on the way, they'll be gone before we ever get there. Between here and our next step, I want you to be next stop on our hike, I want you to be looking for tracks. There are some animal tracks between here and there, and you're liable to see turkey tracks, raccoon tracks, deer tracks, coyote tracks even. So be on the lookout as you walk, be careful where you walk, and stay together. See ya.
The next stop on our beach hike is our raptor perch. Do you know what a raptor perch is? A raptor perch is a perch designed for birds to use who are looking for prey out in an open area or field. A raptor is a bird that preys on meat, so they need the perch to look down onto an open field to find their food. Here's one of our open fields at our Bridgestone beach hike. This open field is a grassland which provides homes and habitats for animals such as turkey and quail. It also houses several different types of insects which the turkey and the quail feed off of. As you can tell, the grass is very high, which protects the animals such as turkeys and quails from other prey and provides everything that it needs to live. The next stop on our beach hike is the American chestnut.
Hi, my name is Sean Fisher. I'm the environmental engineer, and thank you for coming to the beach hike. What I'd like to talk to you today is about this tree. It's a Chinese chestnut. And we have these here growing them as part of the American Chestnut Restoration Project. And why would we have a Chinese chestnut? Well, the Chinese chestnut was brought over around 1900, but along with it, they brought the blight, the chestnut blight. Now, what is a blight? Well, blight is a fungus, and what the fungus does is it infects the tree and kills a living part of the tree. And it does it about a few feet above ground, so it kills the tree from the ground up. And when they brought the blight over, it spread very, very quickly. And it spread to the point that when you go in the woods now, you do not see American chestnuts anymore. And what we're going to do is use its resistance genes to make a blight-resistant American chestnut. So now we'll look at an American chestnut in a second. How you can tell a Chinese chestnut from American chestnut is the stems are grayish while the American chestnut's red, and the leaves, the hooks on the edges of them are a little duller, and the back of the leaves got some hairs on them. So we'll have to look at those, and then we'll look at American chestnut. This tree is an American chestnut. And at one time, we'd look around and most of those trees would be American chestnuts. But like I said, around 1904, the chestnut blight started in New York City. By the 1950s, it had reached all the way down to Alabama and the other southern states. So we went from American chestnuts being most of the trees to virtually no trees are American chestnut. And this one, you can tell it's an American. The stems would be red and the leaves would have a little sharper hooks on them, as you call them. And also, this tree will grow much larger than the Chinese chestnut. It can get up to 100 feet tall, up to around 17 foot in diameter. Chinese chestnut, on the other hand, may get up 40 feet, a few feet in diameter. So when American chestnut trees died, they said, we need chestnuts. We want those back. We planted Chinese chestnuts. But the other trees, the hickories, the oaks, the maples, shaded them out. So we don't have a lot of Chinese chestnuts out in the woods either. So what we're wanting to do is we're going to breed Chinese chestnuts with the American chestnuts. And then we're going to get the resistance, and then we're going to cross him with American chestnuts and to get all the characteristics, but have the blight resistance. And we're looking at, this will take 100 years from now to get American chestnuts back into the forest. Now we are going to go into the woods, and we're going to see many different types of trees, like a beech tree, and also another stop is Life on the Log.
Hi guys, we're here at the log habitat, and what we have here, most of you guys might not know, you look at a log like this over in the woods and you may not realize that it's a habitat for different animals, different species of animals. Who knows what kind of things might live in a habitat made from a log? Some animals that might live in, around, under, and on a log like this that's fell over could be ants, spiders, millipedes, roly-polies. There are some species of plants that live on the surface of the trees, and this would be called the lichen. We have an example of some lichen here and growing up and down through here. You might even find snakes that would like to live under the edges. And if we could roll this big log over, I'm sure you'd see lots of little bugs and things scurrying around. And this is their home. This is where they live. This tree fell over, must have gotten rotten and old and has fell over. And some of you, as you're going through the woods, might say, why wouldn't you clean that old tree up and drag it out of here? But we've left it here because it's a perfect home for a lot of little animals that can make a life under this log. What are some animals that might like to come visit this log to eat some of the little animals that live here? Does anybody know? Some of the animals that might like to come to have a little snack here would be a fox, a turkey. Snakes might come, but they're more likely going to live here. But as this tree lays here and decays, it's going to decay I know Miss Diane talked earlier about composting and how things kind of rot down and return to the soil. Eventually that's what's going to happen to this tree, and you can see it's starting to fall apart and get soft and decompose, and it's going to decay and become part of the soil again and make the ground rich for other plants to grow and new plants to come up that animals will come and eat. So this is a log habitat. Next time you're in the woods, think about some of the things you see laying out in the woods can be homes for animals. And that's what this is. We're going to make another stop on our hike. We're going to go down and see some other things. So let's go.
Does anyone know what this plant is? It's a muscadine vine. Muscadines are a type of grape. And right now the muscadines are all gone, but they have these beautiful leaves. And in the late summer and early fall, they have delicious fruit on them. Not only do humans enjoy muscadines, but they're a good food source for different types of animals. Can you guess what type of animals might eat muscadines? Deer eat them, raccoons, possum, birds, and bees get nectar for honey out of the muscadines. So the next time that you're in the woods, look for a wild muscadine vine. Next, we're going to go to the burrow, and Susan Martin will tell you about the burrow.
Hi, I'm Susan Martin. We are now at the burrow. Does anyone know what a burrow is? A burrow is a hole or a tunnel dug in the ground by an animal for its home. Do you know what type of animals can live in a burrow? A fox, a coyote, a rabbit, a groundhog. Sometimes when the burrow is empty, other animals come in and use it for their home, like a possum or a skunk, and they can habitat here. So our next stop is going to be the Lily Pond by Miss Knowles.
This is the lily pond, and can you guess where the lilies are? They're the plants that are floating around on top of the pond, and in different times of the year they will have flowers on them. There are some animals, and if you're very quiet when you come to the lily pond, you can hear them and you can see them. So what kind of animals live in the lily pond? Frogs, maybe some turtles. There are other animals that come visit the pond because they need water, and if you look beside the pond, you might see their tracks. What do you think they might be? Deer, maybe raccoon. And almost every time we come to the ponds, we might see animals slithering along, snakes. So that's something else you have to look out for when you come over here. If you look behind me, you'll see the state tree. Can anybody tell me what it is? It's the tulip poplar. And it's called the tulip poplar because when it blooms in the spring, it looks like it has tulip flowers in it. And the leaves, when you turn them a certain way, it sort of looks like a tulip flower. So the leaves look like this. And this is a tulip poplar. And when the pioneers were settling in Tennessee, they used the wood from this type of tree to build everything on their property, their houses, their barns, and all their buildings on their farms. So that's why this became the state tree. Okay, next we'll see Miss Ashley tell us about some animal homes.
Now that we've heard from Miss Diane about the habitat of the lily pad pond, I want to show you a nearby home. What kind of home is this? This is a wood duck box. So besides a wood duck, what might live in this home? Well, owls would like to live there. We've also seen some raccoons live there. Now, before we head to the frog pond, I want everybody to be really quiet and maybe we can see some frogs before they jump in. So let's go on up to the frog pond. Now we're here at the frog pond. If you look closely, you might see some of the really big bullfrogs or some of the really larger frogs that stay here. We're going to walk around the pond here and just leave these frogs be, and then we're going to head back to the classroom as we finish our hike.